Hi everyone. Hello. Welcome to our weekly live. Hello again. Hi to Instagram and hi to Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. It's working. It hasn't worked for a while. Thank you, StreamYard. I'm using a special software. StreamYard banners have to change here to English. Very good. Hi everyone. This is Marina Shepelsky. Hello, Karhar. Nice to see you. Nice to welcome you. I missed a couple of weeks. I'm happy to be back. Very happy to be with you all. So much has happened. And today we're going to talk about everything and we will discuss it in length. And I will also be answering your questions. So, oh, I got to go for my very good. I am logged into my Instagram so I can see your questions as they come in. I can read your comments. Please to say hello. Please text. Oh my God, what's going on? Maria, welcome. Hi, thank you for liking my outfit. Thank you so much. I have this hobby. I like to go to estate sales and to like secondhand thrift and consignment stores. And a lot of times I'll find new things with a tag. So this was new with a store tag on it. So this is my really favorite top. Thank you so much. And my necklace I bought in Italy this summer when I was there with my kids. Oh God, and my hair is such a mess. Oh my God. It's a mess because I'm not feeling well. I've been sick. I've been only working from home with my back. Oh, all right. Um, yes. So Abdullah says he booked an appointment with me on 20th November. Yeah, that's when I had an accident and my back went out and I had to go to the hospital. So that's what happened. That's correct. Um, all right. So let's begin. I already see comments. Please put in the comments where you are watching me from. Please, and I'm going to give you a shout out. So let me know if you're watching me from Kentucky or from India or from Pakistan, wherever you are, I'm going to give you a shout out. All right. So thank you to Abdullah who says that he's sorry and hopes I feel better. I feel like a little bit better, but I can't say that I'm feeling much better yet. So we'll get there. So hopefully that will help me. Okay, so let's get into immigration news. A big piece of news came down last night from the federal courts who took the certification for a class action lawsuit against immigration that the Trump administration had implemented this new rule that if you entered with no visa, no inspection through the border, that you are not eligible to have a bond hearing, no bond hearing, nor to have any kind of bond. Uh, and you will remain in ICE detention in the jail while your case, if you have a case, continues. So this class action said that that's illegal. They cannot do that. And the judge agreed yesterday. They certified the class of people who are in that position, and the case will go on. But for now, once again, people have a right to ask and get scheduled for a bond hearing if they are in ICE detention. So that's really huge because for a few months now, we just were telling people to, you know, ask for voluntary departure sometimes instead of having the ability to get out on bond because they can't handle, understandably so, they can't handle staying in ICE detention for so long while the case is going on. So that's the story. That's the biggest news today. I'm really happy to do this, and I'm happy to tell you guys about this as well. What else is new? they announced that the Trump administration is going to review the status of all refugees admitted under Biden. The Trump administration is ordering the review of all refugees admitted to the US during the Biden administration because they're like not trusting the Biden administration with those decisions. This could affect about 200,000 refugees who started the process of legally immigrating to the US over the last 4 years. There's a memo about this that came down from the Trump administration, and it calls for a comprehensive review and a re-interview of all refugees admitted from January 20th, 2021 to February 20th, 2025, even people who are now green card holders. So they're saying if people are not found to meet the definition of a refugee under the re-review, they will have no right to appeal this decision. According to the November 21st memo, spouses, children, and other family members would also lose their immigration status if the original applicant is retroactively denied. I think that this is very cruel, and many of my colleagues do too. And this is really bad for America as a country that was built on this idea of, accepting refugees, giving refuge to those that are in bad condition. And like they already had a decision, a green card in many cases. And this is really bad precedent. I hope somebody sues them. And I hope this is undone, but for now, that's what they announced. Okay, I'm just checking to see what else is new. Okay, so that's in the news today. There's also news that the number of non-criminal detainees arrested by ICE had gone up by 2,000% under Trump. So under Biden, they were giving priority to arresting or detaining only people who had mandatory detention. In other words, they had to have a serious criminal conviction to get arrested and detained under Biden. And this administration has increased number of people without any criminal background by 2,000%. That's a lot, right? So that's what's going on. With that, it's just a new statistic, All right. I'm just gonna give some shout outs. Arlie Anaramasar, Brooklyn, New York. Hi, Brooklyn. That's where our office is. Annie wants to know, what does it mean when you receive your welcome letter from National Visa Center? That means they approved you for a green card usually. That's what that means. And she says she's an F3 category from Jamaica. So they approved you for whatever you applied for in your status. That's when they give you welcome to the United States. All right, let's move on. Questions. Vicky says she's from Canada. Hello to Canada. Thank you for watching. Serena is watching from New York. Abdallah is from New York. Avish is from Europe, from Malta. Hello. Avish is asking if Indians are getting a work permit. If you have the right visa status, yes. Yes. but not always. Not everybody has the right status. Um, Ahmed says, thank you, Marina. Hi, Marina. Thank you for the information you're sharing. Thank you. Sanvi says, hi, how are you? I'm good. Thank you for watching. Everything is great. Um, Ahmed says, also, thank you for sharing information with us. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. All right, let's move on with the news here. Um, More than 250 people were arrested by ICE when they did their raid earlier this week in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's in the news. Christian converts are among the Iranians being sent home from U.S. Uh, Officers are, ICE is basically sending back people who are converts to Christianity, originally from Iran, which is a really bad, horrible dictatorship right now. And they don't care, ICE. They're just sending people back. White House had to apologize for the arrest of, like, I don't know, around 300 South Korean workers at the Hyundai electronics giant LG plant in the state of Georgia. As it turns out, most of the people, I think actually all of the people they arrested, had a right to be legally working here, training the American workers. They were all absolutely legal, but ICE decided they're not and arrested them. This was a big crowd. There's numbers that show that Hyundai, I'm sorry, South Korea brings in billions and billions of dollars into the U.S. economy. This is one of their biggest companies in the U.S. And after this apology, White House had to apologize. They reached a broad trade deal now, and under this agreement, the two sides, U.S. and South Korea, reduced their tariffs on each other from 25% to 15%. And South Korea said it will still invest $350 billion in the US. So at the end, this apology hopefully undid all this problem. Undid apology, which is very rare from the White House. The state of California had made a decision to revoke 17,000 commercial driver's licenses given to immigrants because they realized that these immigrants that they picked are no longer in the official um, status to have a driver's license because only people who are in legal status here, they have a valid work permit right now, are eligible to get their commercial driving license and actually other driving licenses. And so 17,000 people they confirmed are no longer eligible. So they are revoking them. They're taking away 17,000 commercial driver's licenses in the state of California. That's all the news that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and I'm ready to start answering your questions here. He wants to know how to apply as a chef in the US. If you're an Indian, you gotta get a restaurant sponsored. All right. Um, I think it's some kind of a mistake. People think that I get people jobs in the US. I only do the paperwork. Our company only does visa paperwork in the US. We don't get people jobs. I'm so sorry. I know you had hope, but that's what we do. Uh, Hossein says, hi, good morning from New York. It's been 18 months. I submitted my green card application, I-485, after my VAWA was approved. Biometrics and medical were taken. It's showing that an RFE, a request for evidence, was received. Do you think this is normal? Should I do mandamus? I don't think you should do mandamus, and it is normal. I would just wait, have some patience, and wait. But you could also call them if you're worried and find out what's going on. Nebraska Service Center and Queens or field office. You think I should do congressional inquiry or mandamus? You know what? Congressional inquiry is not a bad idea. So you should do that. No mandamus, okay? We do mandamus, but I don't think that you qualify. You have to wait 5 years or at least 3 in your situation to do the mandamus. Thank you. Okay, I answered this. I answered this. Thank you. Ahmed says, is it misrepresentation in the airport saying that I'm in the US for a trip? Does that affect VAWA cases later if I apply for I-360 after 1 month of arrival? It might, and you might need to do a waiver, but I would wait and see. I would still apply. Hussein says, after removal proceedings terminated, is it better to reopen and new close I-485 or apply a new one? If you are terminated, apply a new one. If you are administratively closed, you can try to reopen the original one. Okay, those are different things. Policy 9212. Greetings. Can you elaborate on arrests made during green card interviews when adjustment of status because of overstay? How does this affect VAWA as abused spouses when pending adjustment status with VAWA? Some people will get arrested that have prior deportation orders and stuff like that. Usually, if you have an approved VAWA, you are not going to get arrested because approved VAWA gives you deferred action. Okay? So VAWA that's approved, you should not get arrested if you never had any criminal problems. Jazika, after removal proceedings are terminated, is it better to reopen I-35 or apply a new one? Apply a new one. Oh, admin closed by USCIS, right? So if USCIS or admin closed your I-35, you could write to them and ask to reopen it. And that might be quicker than filing a brand new one. But it's hard to say because both will take a long time. Ahmed says, is marriage in Egypt in the court to a dual citizen considered a marriage to US if the other party is dual citizen? Yes, any registered civil marriage is recognized in US as a civil marriage and does count. Yes, and that will work as a marriage in US. And that's a good question. People always wonder this. Okay. Shubham says, ma'am, you look so pretty. Thank you so much. I agree that I look okay today. Maybe not pretty, but like acceptable. This took a lot of work because I'm not feeling well. Ajit says, how can we apply any website? Apply for what? For a job? I don't do that kind of work here. All right, let's go on. Let's see what other news there are because I see that I answered most questions. Oh my God. So they found that the mother of White House press secretary Caroline Levitt, I'm sorry, mother of Caroline Levitt's nephew. So it might be her sister or her brother's, I guess her brother's wife's child. The mother is Bruna Ferreira. Who has a child with White House press secretary's brother, is arrested by ICE and in ICE detention. So guess what? Even people who work at the White House are affected now by ICE. Um, All right. I think that's all for the news today. I just looked at everything over. I think we discussed everything. Um, Ahmed wants to know how is the VAWA petition fees for your office? Approximately between 12 to 15,000, depending on the complexity of your case. All right, and I know you're asking because you want to know if you can pay. We don't ask for this all at once. Obviously, I know it's a lot of money. We always give payment plans, so it's worth working with a very good, experienced attorney and paying over time than working for somebody who might take less, but it's because they have less experience. They maybe have a free consultation because they have time to give away. We're busy because we're good and people come back and send their friends and their family and so on. So I highly recommend using us for VAWA. This is our thing. This is what we do really, really well for 23 years. This is what we've been doing. So I highly recommend us, Shepelsky Law Group, for VAWA. And TVs also, we're very good at that. All right, I think I might be wrapping up for today. Oh, no, there's more questions, okay? A. Abdallah says, my question is, can somebody change their attorney while you have your individual hearing? So, like, if you already are at the hearing, then no. If you are still waiting for the individual hearing date, then yes, you can. Very good questions. Very good questions, you guys. Thank you. You always ask great questions. I really appreciate you. Thank you. And I think I'm going to wrap up for today. Thank you for watching. This will be recorded and on our Instagram account. And you can watch this in replay if you have other questions. Or if you want to hear the news, then you should go to the beginning and watch from the beginning. Thank you for watching. Mwah! I love you all. I'll see you in 2 weeks here. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I don't know what your plans are. We're planning to have family over. My husband is cooking as he usually does, not me. I just help, like set up the table and sometimes doing salads and stuff. Thank you, everyone. Mwah. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.